right, we're here on Pulse of the Day. We have Deba with us. Ambrose Deba, great to have you in. Hopefully we can hear you loud and clear now.
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, you can hear me. I'm not quite sure I can hear you, but let's see if we can push ahead with this conversation because of time. Obviously, we've seen RT Briscoe. It has been on a losing streak this week, losing at least 9% daily. We identified them as a top traded stock year to date, right, as of August. This week, we have seen back-to-back losses. That bearish trend. Do you see them continuing this bearish trend and reversing their gains as, you know, some of the best, third best performer year to date?
Yeah. So thank you again. I guess you can hear me now.
Yes, I can. Great. Go ahead.
Okay. So what is happening in the market is normal. Okay, so after some days of rally, investors, we always want to take profit. Okay, the point of taking profit, you also see price moderating. And that is what we saw that will likely happen this week, or is already happening. People are taking profit, investors are taking profit, the prices are moderating, and there's also an opportunity for new investors to come on board too.
All right, let's see whether or not the bearish trend continues, because it's been every day this week. But let's also look at what happened as well today, and another trend. I mean, it happened yesterday, you know, again. Amongst the FUGAZ stocks, we're seeing all of them, you know, having that downward trend, aside FBN Holdings. Do you know exactly what may be shielding FBN Holdings from, you know, falling along in the bearish trend with other of its peers?
Okay, so for FBN Holdings, I think that investors, if you watch the stock from the market, has not really done volume, and also if you watch, there are, you know, some other, you know, informations around the company, and of course, investors are yet to be informed. You know, the mode of the possible capital raise in the market, and also the shift or the cancellation of the board meeting. So I think investors are just, you know, sitting, taking side, and then watching what will likely happen in the stock.
All right, and of course we'll be amongst those as investors watching what will happen with that particular stock. Let's come to the currency markets now. We're seeing Nigeria's exchange rates at its worst in 6 months yesterday. Of course, today there have been marginal gains with the currency, but yesterday it was at 1,625 naira, thereabouts 26 naira. Yesterday alone, down 89 basis points depreciation. So some analysts are asserting that the combination of Dangote Refinery hitting the market, and of course him also purchasing crude in naira, it's possible we could see 40% of dollar demand disappear. Do you agree with that figure? What are your estimates, and what factors do you think could, you know, hold sway on the naira in the months and weeks ahead?
So yes, I agree for that
40%.
Possible 40%. Yes, all things being equal, and we all know that the purchase of crude in local currency naira and then supply same to Dangote Refinery will also help ease and then reduce the burden on the FX. Okay, the burden of FX on the naira. So what will likely happen is, we also know that according to the Dangote Refinery, they are going to be turning out around 25 million liters per day, and after a while they will increase it to 30 million. So if that happens, that means that it's likely going to supply, you know, all the consumption that are required locally, and that will also ease off that burden of FX on the naira. We also know that the FX to import this, you know, fuel is usually huge, okay, on the naira, and one of the key reasons why everybody is applying this initiative. However, we hope that this initiative continues. we hope it's sustained. And if it is sustained, we also see a stability, in Naira and then FX. There are likely to be a stability once this agreement, this contract entered into the Dangote Refinery and then NNPCL, continues. And then we'll see that recovery happening.
Yeah, I hope we do, right? We're seeing a slight recovery today. Hopefully that trend continues. Let's move now, and of course, to the fixed income side of things. Nigeria US dollar bonds or euro bond, we're seeing yield climb above 10%, due to, some of the latest sell rallies in the international capital market. What do you think is spurring this persistent sell-offs in that market right now?
Okay, so the sell-off could be attributed to a lot of things. Okay, maybe investors trying to readjust their portfolio. Of course, we know the time of the year we are. A lot of investors are also looking at their portfolio, seeing the possible way to position in order to end the year well, and then looking at the news that are coming to Nigeria. Okay, the recovery part, and then this issue of easing away this FX burden on the Naira, and then the stability around the FX. So these are the information that actually informs investors' decision around trading these securities.
Okay, I will continue to see what happens in that regard. More locally, Nigeria's latest Treasury bill auction, of course, it was held yesterday, saw remarkable display, investor interest, right? But despite the, over 1 trillion naira in, oversubscription that was experienced, the CBN only allotted about 233.31 billion across all tenors. What do you see as informing CBN's allotment, as well as the driver for this strong investor appetite, with oversubscription?
Okay, so if you look at the numbers, you will find out that for that of 364-day Treasury bill, the CBN actually allotted more than they offered. They offered 203 million and they allotted 222 million. But what I think is driving this is usually investors who always want to position, to take advantage of the high, interest rates that we're experiencing currently. Because again, if you look at the economy generally, the inflation, the GDP, and then this, sale of crude in Naira, you find out that the government may not really sustain this issue of high rates. So rates are beginning to moderate. So what investors do is to also position themselves to lock in some of their funds with the higher rate today. And then that will also help them, if rates moderate, they ensure that at least for today, they participated in the higher rate. However, on the side of the government, also not, assigning or allotting more funds, to the subscribers, is also for the government also looking at it that, maybe going forward, the moderation in rates, the recovery in the economy, and then the possible adjustment also. So that possibility for rates to tend low, to continue decreasing is there. So to the government, it doesn't really make sense to take a big fund or huge fund now at a higher rate, whereby they can, come out again in next 2 weeks' time, and then with a lower rate, and also still have the same funds they need. So for them, it's also a good thing that since the rate is coming lower, right, it's also for them to look at whatever they are allotting and then moderate it along with the rates.
Right, so both, parties are trying to, be a little smart with their decisions here. Before I let you go, Mr. Ambrose, of course, buy, sell or hold. We've seen recent trends, fuel price hike and, the possibilities that will drive inflation and increase costs across various sectors. So as an investor, should you buy, sell, or hold stocks in the would you buy, sell, or hold stocks in the consumer good companies, that of course might struggle to pass, the cost to consumers with a perhaps higher inflation ahead?
So for the companies that may struggle, right, I usually talk about investment strategy, then the timing, and then in the timing when to take profit, and actually to reduce your loss or stop loss as a strategy in making investment decision. So for the sectors that we also know that, yes, the fuel price hike, and then, prices of things will begin to adjust, go up, and which will also affect the sectors. So what I will advise investors is, at what point in time did you enter the market? Is this the best time for you to take profit? If it is the best time, I would advise you to take profit and wait, because we hopefully are going to see it reflect in the market. However, for those that also want to stay long, we also advise them to maybe take more, bring down their losses, and then when the market recovers, they will also take profit.
Thank you, Mr. Ambrose Ideba, for your perspective there. I was hoping to get what you would do when it comes to buy, sell, or hold, but of course you've shared from different angles. It's been interesting having you on, an absolute pleasure. Head of Securities Trading at Capital Limited, Ambrose Ideba.